we have a problem. An epic evolutionary of proportion problem. This is a look at XY evolutions. Let's get into this. Hey, what's going on, Epic Tubers? Welcome back to EpicTube HD. You're once again joined by me, Harley, also known as Epic Dad, bringing you another epic video. But today's video, it's a little different from the normal pack style videos that we do here on this channel. I want to talk about the XY expansion set evolutions and why it's made a sudden comeback over the past 8 months. Let's get right into it, guys. Okay guys, so a couple things that I just want to talk about. Number one is, why has XY Evolutions blown up so big and it's become so far out of reach after being the most popular heavy printed set in Pokemon history? Now, as I say that, is there any actual proof of that? Well, unfortunately, there's not. And the reason why is Pokemon does not release its printing numbers. In fact, you still got people trying to figure out what the WotC numbers were for the print editions going all the way back to base set. I want to talk about why has the booster box and all the other products gone insanely crazy in pricing, and I want to take a look at the specific cards that are causing this crazy expansion and wild extravagance of spending in this set. So let's take a look at Bulbapedia. So XY is the 20th anniversary of Pokemon. It was the very last set in the XY era. It's got 113 cards in the English version and 103 in the Japanese version. But let's go ahead and break right into why I personally think Evolutions is way overpriced right now. Yes, I said it, way overpriced, and why I think it shouldn't be anywhere even close to the price it's at. So let's start at the number one source of what causes most things to rise in price, and that is the actual cards themselves. So we're going to head over to PSA. Now, PSA is currently the number one source for grading Pokemon. There's also two other grading companies out there. There's Beckett, which goes a long way back as well, and now there's the newer company that's come out. They're not actually new. They've actually been around the block for a while, but they are new to grading Pokemon, and that's CGC. Now, both Beckett and CG have garnered the attention of being a very difficult grading company. So if you're going to send your card in, they're going to be really tough on that card, which really it should be that way. PSA has pretty much cornered the market for Pokemon, and everyone pretty much knows what they can get by sending their cards into PSA. So with that said, let's take a look at XY Evolution's PSA, some of the most popular cards, and of course, the most important card that has really caused the boom in this set, and that is the reprint Charizard from base. So PSA has a population report, so they keep track of all the stuff they're grading. Now be very, very mindful. This is PSA only. So everything you're going to see in today's video, you got to remember CGC and Beckett also have done an enormous amount of grading for these same products, and so these figures are not even factored in today's video. So let's go ahead and take a look first at some simple sales data. Now, the number one card that everyone seems to want, okay, is the number 11, card number 11, is the Charizard Holo Promo. This card has been the bane of so many people's existence from XY Evolutions. If you don't know, XY Evolutions was a terribly printed set. In fact, it more than gives Neo, the expansion set Neo, a run for its money when it comes to quality of cards, which is pretty ironic for the fact that this set was printed in 2016. You would think that technology would have been there for this card, but it's like Pokemon went back over to Wizards of the Coast
and said, hey, can we contract out your old machines that made the original first edition base set cards for this XY Evolution? Thank you.
You would think with the new technology that the printing would have been so much better that the manufacturing presses and all the machinery would have been like top notch, but no, it's not. So first, let's go to the various sources that we basically get our market information from. Now, the number one source is pretty much eBay. You've got Facebook Marketplace. There's several other places you can get market information from. TCG Player is the quote-unquote professional place for market value, but in all honesty, if you look at the market value at TCG Player, it's typically way less than what you see like on eBay or other places. But we're going to use eBay for today's scenario, and that's because I can double check the prices. Another issue with eBay, and another issue plaguing the hobby right now, shill bidding. You've got to be super mindful of shill bidding. When you start doing your research to find a card you want, if you happen to notice that card is selling specifically for a little bit of time at a certain price point, and then there's like one or two that just seem like strangely out of it, most likely it's shill bidding. Check on the seller, check their feedback. I typically don't bid on anything with a seller under 100 in feedback, and if it's a really big ticket item, they got to have even way more feedback than that. So anyways, let's go ahead and look here at eBay. And what we're looking at now is the listing prices for a PSA 9 number 11 Charizard Holo. So right here you can see this is a slab from PSA. They're looking for $425 or best offer. Here's another PSA 9. This is the reverse Holo. Here's another reverse. Here's another one, PSA 9 Holo. They want $349. Buy it now plus shipping. Here's another PSA 9 from PSA. This person wants $499 or best offer. We have one for $255. This is a bidded auction right now with 3 days left at $255. You've got another one. This is a reverse. Here's another one that they either have it a buy it now for $450 or they have it at $300. Now, what's funny is check out the listing. Charizard, number 11 of 108 Holo. It's a PSA 9 mint, but it's a possible 10, everyone. It's a possible 10. I didn't want to send it in to get regraded, but you might want to buy it for $450 and send it in to get regraded, because it could be a $5,000 card, but I'm not going to do that though. But it could be a 10. See what I'm going at? People are manipulating the market with things like this, which is, it's not good for the overall market, but just be mindful as a shopper. Here's another one. It's got 25 bids on it. It's at 152. So you got a gist right now of the PSA 9 prices, right? This is just a gist. Now let's go ahead and take a look at those sold prices. What has sold? Now, before I go there, today is April 9th of 2021, okay? April 9th, 2001. Also be mindful, everybody, PSA a week ago officially closed shop due to the fact that they have such an influx of cards that have come in. They have over 1 million plus cards between sports and TCGs that they can't handle. So therefore, all the numbers you are seeing today, they don't count any of those that are going to be flooding the market in about the next 6 months. Just remember that. They're going to be flooding the market in the next 6 months with a lot of cards. So be mindful of all this stuff. So let's go ahead and go to the sold prices for the PSA 9. Here we go. April 9th. So it must have been this morning. We have one auction. It had 21 bids. It hit $316. So a PSA 9, the Holo edition from XY Evolutions, $316. Here's another April 9th. $285. Now, fairly close in price. I wouldn't give that too much attention there. Pretty close in price. But let's go ahead and take a quick look at the sellers. And let's just take a look and see. Big time seller here. 15,000 feedback. So you know that's pretty legit right there. Let's take a look at this one. This one has just 5 feedback. Now these are the type of ones that scare me big time. I'd be very afraid to buy from this. $285, that's not chump change money. Move on down. Here we go. We got our first April 9th sold. $350 of best offer. Now, best offer was accepted. Let's see what the best offer was, everyone. Gonna copy and paste the number here. So we copy this. Now we're gonna be using a website that helps us see what that best offer accepted was. Isn't that crazy? You can see that stuff. Here we go. They accepted $325. So they basically accepted $25 less than what they wanted. So they actually did fairly well at the end of the day. So let's go ahead and go back. We know the price range of the PSA 9 right now, but I am building up to what I want to ultimately get to, and that is, why is an XY Evolutions booster box not worth the $800 to $1,200 price tag that people are requesting and selling for, to be honest? So we've now seen the PSA 9 price points. Let's go ahead and take a look at the 10 now, okay? Before I do that, let's go ahead and get off of sold so we can actually look at what is a PSA 10. What are people asking for, okay? All right, everyone. So here we are at the PSA 10 auctions right now. So what we have is the first one on the list, a PSA Gem Mint 10 from PSA. XY Evolutions, everyone. 9,945. Wow. That is insane. Who is selling this? IMT Goods with 97 feedback and only has a 98 positive. That's a question mark. That is a question mark, okay? Then we got a 5,500 one. Gen Men 10, low pop. All right, $5,000. Wow, that is insane for a 2016 card. Here's another one. Look at this one. This is a raw copy. Pokemon Charizard base set, rare star bleeding, plus it's a possible PSA 10, everyone. Now they're saying that there's star-like forms from the hollow that have bled down. Now that does make it a little more special. This is from Germany, but they want 5,352 for that one. Here is a already graded CGC 9.5. Look at this one. Here's another one where they put in the title. It's a PSA 10. No, it's not a PSA 10. It's a CGC 9.5. End of story. No ifs, ands, or buts. They want 4,999. They basically want 5,000 for a best offer. All right. Then we get down a little bit lower here. That's a reverse. These are all reverse hollows. Here's another raw copy. They want $1,950 for a raw copy because it's a possible PSA 10. Is it a PSA 10? Wow, there's a lot of photos here. Look, guys, let's take a look. Is this a PSA 10? Would you get a PSA 10 on this? Well, first of all, why is it in a hard plastic case that's all scratched up and we can't see it, and then it's inside of a penny sleeve? So what is the very first thing that I've noticed on here? You can't see anything. You have no idea if this card is a PSA 10, if it's a 9, if it's an 8. Can't see anything. That's a blurry picture. Can't see anything. How's this one? A blurry photo. Here we go again. You can see that. Now the corners look crisp. I will give it that. The corners do look nice and crisp. But you just can't see anything in this photo. You can't really tell. You can't see the print. You can't see if there's print lines. Although it does look like there's a giant print line. Can you guys see it? It's around the wing, mid-wing level height. It looks like a giant print line going all the way from one side of the card to the other. If that is a print line, which indeed it looks like one, that is not going to get you a 10, and it's not worth that kind of money. Now let's take a look at the back. Oh, we can't see the back. Why? Because you have it in a case. But I do see a little something there in the right corner. I see a little something in the left corner. That could be that typical curling that the corners get. But here you go. Someone trying to sell a raw copy for $1,200. Unbelievable. Well, I think that's good enough. We all know, we've all got an idea now what these cards look like. But let's see what this thing has actually, what has sold in this price range. Whoa. The one from Germany sold on March 28th. It's sold. But is that the real price? Let's go take a look, everyone. So this one was sold. Let's see what the best offer it was. Now I've copied the list here. Let's go ahead and see what our search engine tells us. This card sold for $2,000. They took a $3,000 cut from what they were asking for on eBay. That is so crazy. That's a $9.5 $2,000 XY Evolutions era card. That is absolutely insanity. Here we go. Here's a true PSA 10 rare. They wanted $5,000 for theirs. This was on January. Oh, these are January 29th, February 5th, January 27th. Okay, I don't see any current listings of sold now. But let's go and take a look at this January 29th one. Let's see if the price is still in here. I just noticed something else too. So let's go ahead and copy this number down. Take that number. Also, please note, this seller has 214 feedback. So that's a major sell for someone with that little bit of feedback. Now, 211 is not too terrible. It's not terrible. But this is a really big ticket item. I would be very wary of purchasing an item from someone with 200. They accepted $3,800 US for this card. $3,800. This was in January. Now, I have seen recently, I don't know why it's not coming up in the search list. Let's try this again. Pokemon XY Evolutions number 11. Charizard Hollow PSA 10. I know I saw recently a 10 sell. Let's go to sold again. And I couldn't believe how much it sold. Here it is. No, that's it right there. That is the one. This one sold for $3,700 April 9th. So there you go. A PSA 10 Hollow sold for $3,750 on the 9th. Here we go. April 8th, 2016. This PSA 10 sold for $5,200. So there you go. These 10s sold for this much money. Now for the big reveal, everybody. Here we go. What is making a booster box of XY Evolutions worth $800 to $1,200? And what makes these cards worth so much money? Let's go take a look at the PSA Pop Report. So we're going to scroll on down here to Charizard Hollow number 11. Okay, first thing we're going to look at, how many cards have been graded of this card? Well, as you can see right here, folks, 10,393 cards have been graded of this card just from XY Evolutions. Holy cow. Oh my god. And also, once again, to remind you all, there's who knows how many cards sitting at PSA right now just waiting to be graded. Okay, think about it. PSA has been backed up now since the beginning of 2020, actually. Pretty much the first of summer, they already had started announcing that they were hurting. They didn't have enough people. They couldn't grade cards. Talking almost a year behind. So you know there's a boatload of cards sitting at PSA. A lot of them are this card right here because I bought my booster case. This is the second one I owned. I bought my booster case in August from PokeCharles for $600. Yeah, $600, everyone. That's it. In August of 2020. It was 1 month after when I opened up all my boxes of XY Evolutions. Which I'm not mad that I did, because I didn't buy them for money. I bought them because I wanted the Charizards and I wanted the full arts and I wanted to actually complete the set. So I bought that in 2020 for $600. So the real big boom of XY Evolution didn't begin until September of 2020. That means there's a ton of cards at PSA waiting to come out. So this number of 10,393, that's just the start. And on top of that, don't forget CGC and Beckett. Don't even know their population reports. I'm only doing PSA right now. So let's go and take a look here. PSA 8s. Okay, I know we didn't look at the 8s. Let's just look at the number of grades. There's 3,396 grades of PSA 8. Then we go to 9s. Holy schmolies. I don't even know what to say. Holy Batman. I want to steal phrases from Enlisted Leaf and Loot Box. I don't want to swear, but this is unreal, dude. 6,226 have been graded a 9. Oh my God, that makes every single one of those 9s worthless. It's worthless because what makes something valuable? It's rarity. Value is gained by rarity. And right now in this Pokemon boom that we've been experiencing for almost a year now, rarity has been completely just thrown out the door. But here you go. The numbers speak for themselves. 6,000 cards are graded a 9. That's over half. That is insane. Here comes the kicker though. PSA 10. Just 214. That justifies the higher price for those PSA 10s. I'm not agreeing that they should be up that high still, but rarity dictates the value. So apparently the price is reflecting the rarity, which is just 214, which is unreal. This is my collection that I own, okay, of XY Evolution that I have left, okay? Now I've had some more, but I no longer own those. These are the best ones that I own, and I don't believe I own a single 10 in here. I'm not positive. I know one of them is pretty close on both the reverse and the holo. They're pretty close, but man, I don't know. It's just going to be really, really rough. But by doing this, an inflation in the market of Pokemon that's contributing to this whole other effect that's happening with the whole scalper and flipper situation and all that stuff. We are officially entering into an era that I grew up in, okay? The late 80s and the early 90s sports card era, also known famously as the junk card era. Cards are all worthless. Why? Because they printed more sports cards during that time period than they had ever done in the history of printing sports cards. And now they're all worthless. And we are entering into that time right now. And it's going to be rough, everyone. So anyways, let's go ahead. So now we've seen the prices of these Charizards, right? So I really don't believe that the holo for a 9 or even an 8 should be over $50, in my personal opinion. They really shouldn't be. The 10, I think, is a little high, in my personal opinion. But again, that one's more difficult to understand because strictly rarity is value, creates value. And with only 214 getting a 10 out of 10,000 cards graded, that's pretty rare. So the case could definitely be made for that price point. Now, let's take a look at the reverse foil. There was 5,067 graded up to this point. Out of that 5,000, 780 got a grade 10. Holy cow, that's almost the same ballpark as the holo. I would not have expected that. I would have thought you probably could have gotten a better grade 10 worthy out of those. But no, those are pretty rare. That's just 780. So you're looking right now, the second most valuable card really should be that reverse foil. And the price point it's going for as a 10 is not that far off from probably where it should be, around $1,000. Now, there's a huge gap between that and the holo. I guess the question would be why. It's very rare. It's uber rare. It's not as rare as the the holo, but it's pretty dang rare. But now when you look at those 9s again, and even the 8s, look at that, 1,018 8s, almost 3,000 9s. That accounts for over half, just the 9s alone, it accounts for over half of the total grades. So again, here we go, showing that the 9 really should be not over $50. Really shouldn't. It just makes 0 sense. And again, we're not accounting for those factors. PSA getting ready to spend the next 6 months just flooding the market with a lot of cards that we don't know about. And then, of course, there's the CGC and Beckett grades out there. So I personally do not feel that the 8 and 9s are worthy of those scores. All right, let's go ahead and take a look at our full art Mega Charizard and see what we got here, ladies and gentlemen. So the very first one up is April 2nd, so just this past week. This is a PSA 10 though, not a 9, and it sold for $265. 20 bids, $12 shipping. Wow. I am extremely shocked to see that, because this is actually one of my personal favorite cards ever produced, the Charizard. Love this card. I can't believe it only sold for $265 as a Gem Men 10. That is insane. We have one on March 8th, so that's a month ago. Sold for $336. So look at that drop. 1 month, there was a drop. Those are both PSA 10s. Wow. Here's one on March 17th. Sold for $338, PSA 10. Here we go. Another one on March 10th for $370. $266. There was like a little spike there. I don't see any recent. Now, here's the most recent, March 29th, or one of the more recent ones. March 29th, PSA 10, $315. And that was from PWCC, so you know that was legit. I don't see anything sooner. Here we go. April 6th, a raw copy was sold for just $40. Now, look, they put light plate in here, so they were very honest about the card. That is excellent. You let the people bid on it. Someone wanted it and they were willing to pay it. That's so be it. They were advised light plate. They still wanted it. That's perfectly cool with that. All right. So here's another raw copy. $74 for a raw copy. And they did not put in here it's a PSA 10 or any of that crap. Here's another. Here's a PSA 10. Sold April 7th for $234 with 16 bids. So I think you got the gist of it. Now let's go ahead and take a look at the pop report for this card and see, does the price point match the rarity? Here we go. We're at the full art Mega Charizard card number 101. There have been a whopping 4,987 copies. Holy cow. I had no idea there were 5,000 cards graded to this card. Wow. Now you got to remember, it's been out since 2016. We're in 2021 now. So it is now officially 5 years old, but still, that's a lot of copies to get graded. So let's go and take a look here. PSA 8's just 222. Okay. PSA 9's, wow, a whopping 1,362. That is a lot of PSA 9's. For 5,000 cards being graded, that's a lot. But here comes the kicker. Holy cow. 3,237 PSA 10s graded. That is over half the total grades. Oh, there you go. There is another great example of where the price points are not matching the rarity. The value is not there. It's just not. The numbers speak for themselves. There's just no way that that card should even be selling at the price point it is, which is currently between $250 and $325. It shouldn't be selling that high. There's too many out there. And again, as a reminder, don't forget to factor in the 3 most important things, which is PSA is closed down, CGC, and Beckett grades that are out there right now. That card should probably not be worth more than 75 bucks at best. At best, because there's no rarity. There's zero rarity in it. It's insane how rare this card is not. So there's another perfect example, and we're just using Charizards, right? This is just Charizards you're talking about. Well, let's go ahead and take a look at some of the more popular cards, right? Let's take a look at Mega Blastoise. Dois. And let's see how that guy's doing. Blastoise. Here we go with some Blastoise. Sold April 4th, PSA 10 Blastoise for 225 smackaroonies. Again, this is all US dollars, by the way. Then got $51. That seems pretty appropriate, but we don't know what the pop report is for 9s, especially with CGZ. March 31st, here we go with the Gem Mint 10. $246 for a Gem Mint 10. April 5th, a raw copy. Sold for just $22. And look, they didn't try to manipulate us or lie to us about it being a PSA 10 or none of that. They just sold it as a raw copy. They bought it for $22. Then we got Dragonite. Here's another March 28th Blastoise Gem Mint 10 for $280. There were 33 bids plus shipping. Wow. So anyways, there you go. That's a good look. Now let's go take a look at what the actual population report for Blastoise is, right? So here's our Blastoise right here. There have been 1,606 Mega Blastoise Full Art EX cards graded. Okay? 74 have been 8s. 519 graded a 9. That's a lot. That's a quarter. That's a quarter of the grades. But here is the big dropping an A-bomb on the total grades. 965 have been given a 10. 965. That is 3/4 of the grades got a 10 for Blastoise. Once again, here we go looking at a card selling for $260 average dollars. For what reason? There's absolutely no rarity in that card. There isn't. And do I got to point out those 3 factors once again? CGC, Beckett, and the millions of cards sitting at PSA waiting to get graded. So, there is another great example. Let's look at Mewtwo, another fan favorite. So we got a PSA 9 sold on March 28th of this year. PSA 9, $70. It had just one bid, and they still wanted shipping of $349. But it's a PSA 9 for $70. Seems like a great price, right? It's like you see that and you go, oh my God, just $70 for that full art. That is crazy. Here we go, another one, March 28th. PSA 9. This was a best offer accepted. I'm sure it wasn't $110, but we're going to keep going because I'm going to look at some 10s here. Here we go, another PSA 9 on March 26th for $97. Let's go ahead and see, was there any in April that sold? I need to switch this date around. These are all March. I don't see any Aprils in here, and then we're into February. Let's look at the 10s. How many 10s? PSA Gem Mint 10. Best offer accepted. It's in Canadian dollars. Let's go ahead and we got one on April 6th. April 6th, a Gem Mint 10 was sold. Best offer. Let's see what that best offer accepted was. This person has 90 feedback. Not too terrible. Shipping's a bit expensive. $9 in shipping. Wow. Okay. So let's go ahead and copy this down. Let's go to our tracker, our eBay tracker on sales that were accepted here. Here we go. And they accepted $170 for that card. So they went under by $25. Not too terribly bad. They're not bad at all, actually. Not bad at all. So $190 for that card. Let's go ahead and take a look at the pop report. 1,000 Mewtwo's have been graded. 540. That is more than half of the grades. Got a Gem Mint 10, ladies and gentlemen. Got a Gem Mint 10. 364 got 9s. There you go. Another great example of there is no rarity in what you're getting here. Now let's look at the other two really popular ones, and then we're going to call it a night, ladies and gentlemen. Now this is a trainer, and right now trainers are really big in style. Trainers have been going insanely crazy right now. So let's take a look at this, right? Gem Mint 10, $125. It was sold on March 25th. That has a best offer. I'm wondering did that sell for $125 or was there a best offer accepted? We're just going to double check on that one and also take a look. Good seller feedback there, 685. So let's go over here and take a look at our tracker and see if it's sold and held at that price point. No, it did not. $65 for a Gem Mint 10. Wow. I mean, I got to admit that I would probably have hopped on that. If I would have offered 65 and they said yes to that, I probably would have bought it. That's a Gem Mint 10 for $65. I don't see any of those. Here's one on January 27th, sold for $112. I don't see any others. Are there any selling on the market right now? Let's go ahead and get off sold items. Let's get off sold. We're on best match. So there's one up right now for $179 or best offer. There's one right now. Somebody wants $207 for a 10. Now we just saw one sell just recently for $65. Huge difference here in the price points. Here's another PSA 10. At least they're offering free shipping. $224 or best offer. Now let's go ahead and let's make sure, let's check that date again one more time. That date on the one that sold, March 25th. Yep, just two and a half, 3 weeks ago. $65 it sold for. Let's go ahead and take a look. The Gem Mint 10 population report for Brock's Grit. Now there's been 544 graded, 283 Gem Mint 10s. That is again over half the grades are 10s. That is insane. Holy cow. The other half is pretty much 9s, 208. Again, there's no rarity there. And again, I hate to keep bringing it up. You got millions of cards. PSA still coming through the pipeline. CGC, Beckett grades out there. $65 for a graded 10 though. I don't know on that one. Personally, I probably would have hopped on it as well. But if we're really thinking smart, if we're really being true about the grade and the rarity and all that, that card probably shouldn't be worth more than $30 as a 10. I know it sounds crazy to say that, but just 2 years ago, that is what that card was selling for. Yeah, believe it or not, look it up. You guys got to remember, the beginning of 2019, this hobby was just starting to come up from its lowest point in the history of Pokemon TCG. It was terrible. 2018 was a terrible year. 2016, 2017, 2018 were all down years for Pokemon. 2019 was the year that it started off down, but it started coming up. And then that summer hit with Unbroken Bonds, and everybody went after the Charizard and Broken Bonds, and then suddenly Hidden Fates dropped and all those great sets. But yeah, isn't that so crazy? Now let's go ahead and take a look at that Misty's Determination, right? Yes, there we go. PS right now selling PSA 10 $400 or best offer. Wow, didn't expect that. Now I kind of expected it. To be honest with you, I did expect it, and I expected it on Brock's Grid as well. So it's not that surprising when I really think about it. Here's one for $250. That's a PSA 10. Here's another one, $449. Here's another one, PSA 10, $369. Someone is selling a fake copy for $100. Oh my god. Holy cow. But anyways, you guys see those prices right there, right? What has actually sold? Let's take a look. So we've got a best offer accepted. That was on April 7th, so just 2 days ago. Here's another one, April 6, 250. March 31, 250. March 29th, another best offer was accepted. March 20th, another best offer accepted. Let's go ahead and see what this April 7th best offer accepted was. And then we're going to look at the pop report and we're going to call it a night. Again, thank you all for supporting our channel, watching our videos. Subscribe if you're not subscribed already. Turn your bell on. And here we go, ladies and gentlemen. $230. So they went $20 less is what they accepted for that card. So we have an idea of the price point for a Misty Determination. Now, does this meet the value equals rarity? Let's go ahead and take a look. Here we go. Misty Determination, there were 776 grades. That means there were more grades. 200 more than Brock. There's 388 PSA 10s. And the other half is basically PSA 9s. So once again, it is proven that we're just straight up overpaying for these cards. Straight up overpaying for it. Now I understand there's a whole nother debate that can be had here. It's also about supply and, the supply and demand. And right now the demand is huge. You don't have to buy these cards at their price points. There's no value because there's zero rarity. Everybody's going to be really upset when the bottom falls out of this hobby and cards lose a ton of money and everybody loses a ton of money in what they've bought. Patience is key, okay, to controlling the price. I hold no grudges against anyone selling. You're just putting the prices up there. You're putting the cards up there, and those who are buying are willingly doing so. So all I'm stating is we got to be a little bit smarter, and this goes for every single one of these cards. It also goes for other expansion sets. Now, the ultimate point of this is, do these cards justify the purchase of an extremely expensive box right now? My personal opinion, absolutely not. I've opened up 2 cases of XY Evolutions boosters, and I can tell right now, I did not pull that many Charizard Hollows or the reverses or even the full arts out of there. Lots of the EX and some of the megas, but when it came to the hollows and the reverse and the full art, very few and far between in those 2 cases. And I opened up additional booster boxes before those. And I've opened up at least 100 plus blisters of evolutions. And I've opened up all of those packs that come in character boxes and things like that. So it's really difficult to sit here and say that, or I should say it's really difficult to sit here and argue that these boxes are worth that much money when there's no way they are. Personally, I don't think the most printed set ever in the history of this franchise should be valued at this high. I understand it's 5 years old, but I don't think these boxes should be high. My personal opinion, I don't think these boxes should be more than $200 to $300. And I do understand for the first 4 years, you pretty much bought them at their price point. I get that. But I really don't think they should have risen in value as much as they did by 3, 4, and now we're up to like what, 600-700%. Okay, I just don't believe it at all. Now, these are a little different. Elite Trainer boxes are very different because they're typically never ever reprinted. This is not a reprint of an Elite Trainer box. All they did was find a whole bunch in their warehouses and put them back on the floors at Walmarts and sell them for $30. Okay, that's all they did. These are not reprinted cards. These come from the last time they printed the Elite Trainer boxes. But these are actually valuable. These hold value, okay? Because there's rarity in these. These are the Charizards that are most well known in Pokemon history. In XY Evolutions, they decided to make a reprint. So this has become the chase card in Evolutions. The only problem with this particular card is that it was full of errors. You would think with 2016 printing abilities, upgraded facilities, and machinery, they would no longer have issues with printing. But this card, which is one of several that I own, has several defects on it. One is a giant print line that goes up the side here. If you can see here, there's a piece of the card right there. You can see that from the cutting tool that failed to cut it properly. So it has very poor cut on there. The corners are actually a little bit off. Centering is actually fairly good, but again, you can see multiple print lines on this card. It's a 2016 card with print lines. You can see there's whitening on the card, several spots. Again, that top is just shredded there. So terrible. But this is the main problem in XY evolutions. Very poor quality. Anyways, guys, that's gonna do it. I just want to say once again a huge thank you to everybody for all the support that we get from you. Once again, please smash that like button. Subscribe if you haven't subscribed already. I think we make a lot of epic content here on the channel. Click that little bell, get you all the notifications every time we open up a video. And stick with us, everybody, for more epic adventures with us, EpicTube HD, guys. Till the next one, peace out. See ya. And good luck. Happy hunting.